What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Sober Morning Reset video. I'm Aaron, the Sober Life Coach. On this channel, we help you reset, rewire, and reclaim your life from alcohol one win, one day, one habit at a time. I've been sober for the past 7 years, and I was able to do that without AA or rehab. And I was able to mix personal development with my alcohol-free lifestyle. I want to help you guys do the same because alcohol is the ultimate upgrade. It's the alcohol-free advantage. You get an advantage when you quit drinking when you guys have the best advantage you can out there. So if you're high functioning, career driven parent, or you're a professional that maybe is seeing a little bit of a struggle with alcohol, you're in the right place because we're going to talk about some really cool things that how we can use this to get rid of our alcohol problem. So today we're going to be talking about 6 habit switches that rewire your brain to stop craving alcohol. And we're going to eliminate that need to drink one craving at a time or one urge at a time. So we talk about the drinking habit loop. If you haven't seen this, if you're new to the channel, then the drinking habit loop goes like this, right? You have a trigger, you have something triggers you, you have a drink, you get the short-term reward of alcohol, and these long-term costs here are building up underneath, causing you to drink again. This is kind of habit loop that you might be stuck in, and I was stuck in that for 18 years. I was looking for these short-term fixes, short-term rewards, thought alcohol was the solution to my problems. It wasn't until I actually started identifying the triggers and the costs that alcohol was causing me and uncovering some limiting beliefs, putting new habits in place, changing at an identity level, becoming that sober 2.0 version of myself. That's when everything changed for me. So once I started identifying the triggers and the costs and changing a lot of the things on my mindset, that's when these triggers started to become clues to me. We talk about on the Sober Money Reset, we talk about cue to clue, right? So the trigger or the cue is a clue that something's going on, right? So once you start uncovering what the underlying reason, you get this little bit of short-term discomfort here. That's a craving or an urge to drink. And that can be uncomfortable, but guess what? Short-term comfort leads to long-term pleasure because once you go through that short-term discomfort and you get used to it, you start beating it, you start putting better habits in place, start overcoming those urges one at a time. That's when everything starts to change because you start giving these long-term pleasures and you start putting better habits into your life. And then you can go again and identify another trigger, the cost of it, the limiting belief that's behind it. And you can kind of go through these one at a time if you have to until you get to where you're starting to rewire your mindset. And then you can start stepping into that sober 2.0 version of you that everybody wants to be. So the sober switch guide kind of goes like this. So it's 6 triggers to drink and habits to replace them. So because what happens when you get stuck in this habit loop here is a lot of people, excuse me, a lot of people think that they can just get rid of drinking, right? So we're here, we just get rid of drinking, we throw it up here, and then our life is going to change. It's called quitting drinking, right? And quitting drinking is fine. You can go and you can white knuckle it, you can quit drinking. But the real change that happened in my life and a lot of people I help is that we're not just quitting drinking. We're identifying the triggers, we're identifying the underneath costs, we're eliminating that need to drink at an identity level, at a level where we understand, we're aware of our triggers, we're aware of why we're drinking, and then we get that short-term discomfort, and then we can get to long-term pleasure here. And this long-term pleasure builds up over time, and that's where you start having these better habits put into place to get to where you want to go. And you want to replace drinking with one of these sober switches, these urges, right? So if you have an emotional trigger be a person, an event, a feeling, stress, anxiety, those kinds of things, journaling is a great habit to switch it to because journaling brings out gets you to put pen on paper. You can uncover how you're actually feeling. Those kinds of things is a great habit switch there. People, right? If you have a people and you have a social trigger, right? You're out, you have to feel like you have to drink to connect. Try having authentic connection. Try doing that instead as a habit switch, right? It's not going to be right away, but you can say, okay, if I'm seeking connection with somebody, if I'm seeking to have a social interaction, I need actually authentic connection. So switch it for a connection. That's one of the 6 sober habits. Places, if there's a certain place, you move around your environment, get some movement, get some exercise, switch up your environment. Places can be huge triggers for you. Could be the living room, could be a bar, could be somewhere where you work. Those can be triggers. And that could be an environmental trigger that you need to either get up and walk around and move, or switch that environment around if you can. Things. These are important ones. There's certain things in your environment, a bottle of wine, a certain picture, things that can trigger your mind to have an urge. Use the power pause, right? The power pause is just a couple minutes, 2 minutes of breath work. You pause, you think about it. You can use the dare to be sober method, which is disrupt, ask, reframe, and execute, right? So you disrupt the thought, disrupt the pattern with a power pause. You ask better questions. Okay, um, ask yourself, is alcohol actually going to solve the problem I'm having here, right? And then you can reframe that. Okay, if it's not going to solve the problem, what's it going to do? It's going to make it worse. And then you can execute on a plan. Have that power pause. Have those things in place to go there. Thoughts are a huge one, right? Your negative thoughts, negative beliefs, those kinds of things that ruminate in your mind. Learning helps to get rid of those, right? Learning, growing, expanding, reading a book, getting inspired by some personal development books, great books to read. I love Ed Milet. I'm reading The Power of One More, right? But you can read whatever book you want. Getting in those mental reps. A great book to actually read is Alcohol Explained, because Alcohol Explained explains exactly what's going on with your brain and your mind and everything around alcohol. So that's a good one to learn about alcohol, learn about the consequences of it, learn about addiction, learn about all these things you can learn about. That's going to get rid of those thoughts in your mind because you're going to be doing something instead of drinking. An achievement, right? This achievement trap that we get caught in. We want to achieve, we want to have a reward, and we've linked reward to alcohol, we've linked fun to alcohol, right? It's a solution to help us celebrate. Well, how about you have a meaningful absorbing project or a meaningful aligned purpose, right? So, meaningful absorbing project can be something meaningful to you, something absorbing that you're gonna you lose track of time in, and it's a project. It's not just one off. It's a project based. With these six sober habits, beat it and switching these triggers with these six sub habits is really going to help you over time get to where you want to go, right? So I hope that helps. I hope you guys understand that you can't just get rid of alcohol, you can't just quit drinking, because that's bad advice. Because what happens when you quit drinking, there's a void, right? And your life's still going to be there. A lot of people think quitting drinking or getting rid of it is going to be just this magic wand where everything's going to be great. And I tell everyone, it's not going to be always fun, right? You're going to have this short-term discomfort, but to beat that short-term discomfort, you can put better habits, better things in place like mindfulness, connection, journaling, movement and exercise, learning and growing, meaningful observing project. All these things, these six sub habits fit into this to delete this short-term discomfort and bring you long-term pleasure. And then you identify another one and you go around, round, round, and you're not actually caught in this loop anymore. You're actually going to be caught in a habit loop that's good for you, that's there, and you can stack those habits over time, and then you can get to where you want to go. So hopefully that made sense. If it did, please give me a like, share, a comment. If you're seeing this in the email list, you can reply to me if you want. My inbox is always open. Aaron Osberg at soberand6.com. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you guys want the sober switch guide, it just kind of goes through these triggers of which one to use when. Then you can just reply to the email, or you can email me in general and just reply sober switch, and I will give you guys. I'll send you that PDF guide so you guys can print it out, have it there ready. And always, we do a sober morning reset challenge every 30 days. We're in October right now, so the challenge is closed. But November, if you're listening to this at this time, November is the next month. So if you want to get into the challenge and learn some of these habit changes and rewiring and all this great stuff we do in the challenge, you can join me there. Anyways, guys, have yourselves a beautiful day. I will see you guys in the next video.